Hi, this is Capi from the Yarn and I Capi podcast, and I am so glad to be able to talk to my friends. I've been very sick. I wish I could tell you that it's gone, but I'm still got this crud, whatever it is, in my lungs, and whatever the virus is that has been going around, I got it twice. So that's where I've been. If I haven't been on the couch, I finally got out. This week was my first week to go and babysit the grandchildren. And so that's pretty much since Christmas. So that tells you kind of how bad it's been. So anyway, I'm glad to be here. I've got a lot of things to tell you. There's probably more things to tell you than I even can. I've jotted some notes down, but I'm probably bound to forget many things because there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. So I guess I should tell you right now, you can, so I'm Capi from the Yarn and I. That's the name of my store. You can find me on Instagram as the Yarn and I for my business. I am the Yarn and Me is my personal fun feed where I post, you know, the giveaway threads and different things like that. And I am the Yarn and I on Ravelry. And I'm the Yarn and I on Facebook. And I have a podcast group on Ravelry that is the Yarn and I Capi podcast. So I think those are all the places that you can kind of find me and get a hold of me. And I hope you enjoy this episode. I know I haven't said this a lot, and I probably should plug myself a little more. If you like this podcast and you know, you want to, please feel free to leave me comments anytime, questions. I'm happy to answer most questions. And you can, what was I going to say? Oh my gosh. It's like, anyway. I had something I was going to say. Oh well, it'll come back. So, yeah, really, that's bugging me because I had something I wanted to say and then I got myself off track, but hey, that's the ADD for you. So I am looking at myself on my computer screen here, and I wanted to let you know that I am wearing that being sick has some advantages. Not many, but I actually was able to get a few things done. So this is the Find Your Fade DK by Andrea Mowry, and this was the free pattern that we got from Knit Stars 2.0. And so it's got this neat little, she showed it with this little knot, and I like that idea. There are so many shawls that we all have knitted, and some of them the tails get kind of, really long, and if you're not sure how to wrap it around all those times, this is a good solution. So I'm hoping that by sharing it, some of you might be able to use that. Anyway, the yarns that I used, this is Leading Men Fiber Arts, and this is their Acid Trip yarn. The turquoise here, that's one that I dyed up because I saw this turquoise going through this yarn, and I wanted something turquoise to be able to give it a little pop. And so, if you don't have it in your stash, dye it up yourself. So I did that. And then this next one was one that I have had actually for sale for quite a period of time. This was like Raspberry Melba, I think. So these are all DK. And so I went from this one to that one. And I had another yarn that I used myself. I didn't like it. So I got a hold of Tara from Mitchell's SC, Mitchell's Creations SC, or Mitchell's SC Creations. I think that's what it is. I'm sorry. I'll try and put it in here. Anyway, she and I did a trade. She had a yarn called Zombie Butterflies, and I had a yarn called Princess Zombie. And it's so funny that both of us picked this zombie yarn of each other's. We looked at what each other had, and that was what we ended up trading. So it just finished it off perfectly. So I don't know if you can make out. Oh, here, I got this little light I put here, and I forgot about it. Okay, there we go. Let there be light. Anyway, if you can make out, this is Tara's yarn here. And this is mine. And this one is mine, of course. And this one I have no idea what I did. I just kind of like, oh, I want some of that color and that color and that color. And then this is the Leading Men Fiber Arts acid trip. So anyway, I love it. It's a great shawl. It's great. So anyway, because I haven't podcasted in a while, none of you know about the sale that I set up a sale. That doesn't look good when it's aimed right at me. Anyway, I thought that I would have a sale that I plan to announce to the people that watch my podcast. And I just was never able to do it. But the sale is through the 14th, Valentine's Day. And so there's certain things on my in my Etsy shop that are marked down 30%. There's no bare yarn because my profit margin on that is so slim. I couldn't do that. And it's not the pot holders and things because I kind of ran sales before Christmas for that. So it's just, I want to say there's some Leading Men Fiber Arts yarn there, some of their mini sets, and I don't even know what else is there. But I just wanted to let you know the only way anybody has found this out is by going to buy at the shop and they happen to see it. So, I had some felting kits there. I want to say there's probably only one of those left. There's just a few things. So anyway, if you're in the market for some stuff, check it out. Okay. News. I believe that probably most of you may have seen a post at least of the fact that I'm going to Stitches West. I'm really excited about that. Brian and I are going to fly in on Wednesday, and the actual show, the vendors market, is Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday, and it's Sunday, but we were only able to get a flight. It's really crazy getting a flight into San Jose. So we had to take a flight that leaves Sunday morning, and we're actually going to get home Monday morning, so to speak. But anyway, so I already have talked to a few people, and Georgianne from Stitching Plaza, she's going to be there, so I'm going to get to see her. I'm pretty excited about it. They are, my friend Jean, the booth that I will be in is Two Guys Yarn, and Jean signed us up for the stitch marker swap. So apparently it's going to be in the catalog that there's certain vendors are participating in this, and so that's what we're doing. And I've been making up some stitch markers, and I am looking because I forgot to bring something over here. But I'm going to, let's see what I got. I am going to mention I might stop this for a minute and let me go get those things. So hold on 1 second and I will be right back. Sorry about that, but I'm back. I just had to show you, this is a little shout out to someone who's really doing me a favor. Ruth Hinman. She is on Instagram and various places. Her company is 12 Squared Creations. And she makes the most adorable stitch markers, and she painted some bags for my grandchildren. I think I might have showed those. Everything's a blur before Christmas. But she makes the cutest stitch markers, and I'm thinking you can pick up, maybe I'll turn, maybe that's, I think I've got them on the back here. But, you know, like little jelly beans, and this is supposed to be like a Swedish fish, a green Swedish fish, and then little gummy bears, and then these are some other little doodads. And she has these in her shop. They're adorable. Anyway, so she is helping me out making some stitch markers because I have to have enough stitch markers to give out to, I don't have any idea how many people are going to participate in this swap. So I'm going prepared. And then the other thing that she made for me, she's made a few. I have gotten some from her in her little things that she has sent to me. But look at, these are Legos. These are those little 1x2 Legos. Let's get that around like that. You can see it better that way. You know, the Legos. And then she has done some single ones for me. I basically went through my grandchildren, the Legos that we have here at the house, and I sent some to her, and she made these up for me. And she actually told me how we can do it because she's made me, I think, 75 stitch markers. I've made some stitch markers that I'll show you in a minute. And Brian's new project is he's going to make these Lego stitch markers, progress keepers, whatever. Anyway, luckily for us, we have a resale shop that specializes in Legos, and I could actually walk to it. It's walking distance. And I went there. We went last night, and here we are, 2 adults in there, you know, scrambling through all these tables and tables and tables of Legos looking for Lego pieces. And so Brian's he's gonna be helping me as well. So I mentioned some stitch markers that I made, and these I got a compliment from the people at Stitches West. I posted these. I don't know if you can make it out. What they are is they are a silicone bead, which I had bought for teething things that I was making quite a while ago. And so my dad always taught me how to make tassels, and I knew that I could do them with putting a little bead up here at the top. I've got the jump ring, and then I threaded it through the bottom of the bead. And sometimes I have to do it in separate batches to get it through the bead here. But I did them, and I think they turned out really cute. And it's my own hand-dyed yarn, so it can be done with scraps. And those leftover minis is actually what I'm using. So, so I've done those. And then some other ones that I'm doing. These were some inexpensive beads I got from, oh, and by the way, best thing to hold your stitch markers. I have many of these from my dad. And he must have used these kind of, you know, stitch holders. And I have many, many of them. they work perfect for keeping things all together. So don't give those up. It might be a way for you to keep your stitch markers together, because if you're like me, I've got lots of them. Anyway, so these were some really inexpensive beads. They're hearts. It's kind of hard to make them out, but they're kind of like Brighton hearts, and they were on sale at Joann's. They were clearancing them out last year. I think I got these more than a year ago. Anyway, so I've just taken a bead and I've used crimps. I've never done crimps before, but I'm not going to say that I'm a fan. I think I will leave the jewelry making to my mom. It's just too fussy for me. But anyway, I think I might have 100, so I'm probably going to make 100 of them. So anyway, so that just gives you some ideas of stitch markers that you can make. And that brings me to the next piece of news. I bought tickets on Wednesday to go to the DFW Fiber Festival in Dallas-Fort Worth. So I'm really excited. I know that I'm going to get to see Undead Heidi. Hi, Heidi. I've already contacted her, and so any of you that are in Texas, if you're coming to the show, it's going to be really, really super. So Yarny's STX, she might be there, I hope. And Linda, I'm hoping that I get to meet some of these people that I've communicated with and who followed me for a while, and I'm really excited that I'll get to see you, and you'll get to see my yarn in person, which is really, really the purpose, is to get myself known beyond this realm that I'm in. So I've done some really cool stuff lately. I had the time to think about ideas, and sometimes I'm not even sure. It might have been the codeine in the medicine that I was taking, or the NyQuil. Whoa. Brian had this bug before me both times and brought it home and shared, of course. And both of us said we have had some really odd dreams from the night of taking NyQuil. So, and I guess we're not alone, because my daughter said the same thing happens to her, that she just kind of like, it's just weird stuff, So, but anyway, out of the fog came some really, really cool ideas. So, I think I'm just going to share them with you now, because they're on my list and we'll just do it. So, I was playing around with colors bleeding into other colors, and I also found some pictures on Pinterest of houses and color schemes and things like that, and I was sharing them, and I really got intrigued with Marrakesh and Morocco. And Yves Saint Laurent has a home there, and these are some of the colors of. The house was painted this deep, beautiful blue, and then it had the accents of this gold, and then he had these purples and just everything in here. And I just played around with how the colors could, meld together, and I really like it. So this is, it's a sparkle yarn, but I'm learning about dealing with sparkles. Something that maybe you don't know, and it's something I can share as a technique, is if you're going to have sparkle yarn, you better use vinegar and not citric acid, because the citric acid seems to remove a lot of the sparkle. So, live and learn. So now if I'm doing it, I do vinegar, and this has the sparkle. You probably can't see it on screen, but it's there. Anyway, trying to get it to go. Well, there was a little glint here and there. Anyway, so this is one. This is another. This one, I'm not sure really what, this was just, I think, playing with colors that, the new color, of course, for, if you follow Pantone's color of the year is deep violet. And so I was kind of playing with colors with the deep violet and doing some speckles there in the blue, and then I threw in, decided to try a little bit of a turquoise greenish, and so this is also on sparkle. This one really sparkles. If I can get it to sparkle. I've got this light over here that I'm trying to make use of. Okay, you can get some sparkles there, I think. There's some. Anyway, it's sparkly, trust me. Okay, so that's another one. And that particular one I just showed you, I'm not real crazy about. But I know that there are colors that I don't care for, and I have to push myself out and, do them because there's other people that love those colors. So, even though it's not my choice, so I think they're, and they look actually even better in person. So, as is always the case. Okay, then, another picture that I saw of Marrakesh was all kinds of gardens and things, and they had some of these really vibrant colors, and this is also another sparkle base. I really tried to play with the sparkles because I had the yarn, and I thought, well, I may as well. So anyway, I think you can kind of make out there's some sparkles there. Yeah, you can see it there. Every now and then it glistens and stuff. So this is just, it just kind of goes from one thing to another. And this, I hand painted this one. And I think the last one I showed you, I kind of hand painted them. So there's some areas where they kind of go into different colors and stuff because I was able to move the color up and that kind of thing. So, all right, so that's another one. Here's one that I am really in love with. This is, now this one I tested before I came on air, and yeah, this is a sparkly, it's a pink, there's just a slight bit of red there. It's actually coming out brighter on screen than what it is. It's really I would call it a princess pony kind of a skein. It's just beautiful. If this is what little girl yarn, this speaks to me as little girls. And it's just really lots of speckles in there. There's something different everywhere. So I was really trying to work on some yarns. It's great to have them. I would say some of my yarns are variegated because they go from one thing to the next and then repeat around. But I also have been playing with yarns that don't, and just really random and that. So this is that one, and actually I have another one. Let me grab it. Fell down here. This is another one I dyed at the same time, and this one has more purples in it. So, you never know what you're going to get. And this one's beautiful too. So it's this little My Little Pony kind of colors, but with some purples and things. Just look at it. It just, oh, shines. So these are going to California. And I'm actually, most of what I've dyed is going to California because I have to get 100 plus skeins to Jean. So what I'm doing is I've got these that they're already going. They will not hit my shop at all. So they will not be available. But some of these other ones that I'm coming up with, in fact, if you look right behind me on the table here, what I did is I had dyed some yarn to go to California, and I don't have it right here. But it turned out so nice, and it was something that I could duplicate. And so on the yarn that's going to California, it's merino cashmere nylon. And this one here on the table, because I used up all my merino cashmere nylon. So this is the new yarn from Wool to Dye For that is called titanium. And that brings me to an important announcement. I really like the titanium yarn. I like the way it accepts the dye. It is a 2-ply, a tighter twist, a little tighter twist than the platinum, which is the normal one that I've been carrying for forever. The one that everybody uses. The 75-25. 75 superwash merino, 25 nylon. This is also 75% superwash merino, 25 nylon. It is supposed to be a workhorse yarn for socks. And it's, like I said, it's got a little different twist on it. And instead of 4 plies for the other one, this is 2. And it takes my kind of dyeing that I do with the speckles and different things like that. It takes the dye better for me. So I decided, I've got some things I've got here on my list of decisions that I made while I was sick. Of course, I'm sure I can change my mind. But what I decided to do was to, I'm going to offer the platinum yarn that everybody is so taken with. I will still be carrying that in my shop for those who want to dye their own yarn. But I think I'm going to slowly transition, I guess would be the good word, is transition into this, the titanium for my own dyeing and things like that. I have plenty of the other one. I've got lots of stuff dyed in it, and I will make sure that you know what you're getting. As a matter of fact, I'm referring to the old one as the platinum. I am calling it vanilla sock, which is what I've called it since the beginning of my shop. And the titanium is I want to say I called it premium. I ordered new tags and things, so I want to say it's a premium vanilla sock. So kind of like a premium ice cream, you know. So anyway, that is going to be happening, but I will continue to offer the platinum and all of the sparkle bases. I am going to be keeping them in my in their bare state. I will be offering them bare yarns, and I will be keeping the prices low on them as I have. Now, any of the other yarns, I don't know if most of you probably know that a standard markup in yarn is usually 3 times. Well, my yarn, the bare yarn, I've been doing like 1.5 maybe. And I'm finding with the fees and there's certain things that you don't take into consideration when you price things. And so I decided that I want to keep the prices low on the yarns that I sell a lot of. And I look at it that quantity will take care of that. But on the other ones, I'm going to mark them up 2 times. Okay, so you're still saving. And I kind of look at it, if people want to buy it from me, they buy it from me. And if they don't, then they don't. Because there's people out there, and we're talking some of your big people that are charging $25 for a skein of yarn that is undyed, and if you bought their dyed version, it's $28. And I don't think that's fair. So I guess I'm on my soapbox, but I decided that, and those yarns that they're charging $25 for, even at my double, I would probably be at $20. So I think that I'm fair. So that's just what I've decided to do. I have some other yarns that I had bought, especially BFLs and things like that. I may be running a sale to get rid of them. You know, I just can't keep all this different bear yarn. For a while there, it was like I wanted to be the person that had all the bear yarn for people to buy. There's many of us out there, so I'm going to probably be getting rid of some of the things that I have. So we'll see what happens. Okay. So I talked about the yarns. Oh, another yarn that I got in. And this I got in pretty much specifically for me. This, Wool to Die For, the company I buy from, calls this Pure Luxury. And it is Pure Luxury. They are 50-gram skeins, 218 yards. I'm looking at my note here. This is the color that they come in naturally. And this is 50% yak and 50% silk. And because the yak is a darker, this is the natural of the yak. So it ends up, it's a very, I'm trying to think, it's coming up gray here, but it's a really nice brown color. A natural shade. And it is lovely. It feels lovely. It is perfect. I would say what I want to do is make either a cowl, a very, short cowl, or a hat. I just think this would be just a luxurious treat for me, maybe Brian, because I would consider this to be a very manly color. So it would be a very nice thing for you to make for maybe your significant other. Anyway, so I bought 10 skeins, the pack, the way it came. Bare like this, they're going to be $17. I have dyed some, and I'll show you that. That's right here. It really took, of course, it's going to be a darker color, but look at this. I mean, the silk always takes your dyes really nice. And this is, in the yak, I've had yak before. It is like butter. Anyway, so this is how it took the dye. And so I did 2 skeins of this. I did 2 skeins of like a red vermilion color. And then I'm probably going to keep 2 skeins myself, plain, leave them like this, because maybe Brian and I'll have hats or something. I have 4 skeins available. I'm going to put them on my Etsy shop, and they're going to be $17, and when they're gone, they're gone. So I kept out 6, and I'll probably be putting one of each of the skeins, this one and maybe the red on my shop to sell. They won't be $17, obviously, but I just thought I'd share that for anybody that's interested. Let me see. FOs that I've done. I showed you this, the Find Your Fade in DK. Love it. I finished 2 Gramps cardigans, which I'm thinking a lot of you saw the 2 cardigans on Instagram. I posted, I did the red one with Leading Men Fiber Arts. They're Poison Apple Red. And then I used London Fog as the accents on it. And then that was for Loudon, my youngest grandson. And then Milo, his brother, who's 2, I did his in Leading Men Fiber Arts Lucky Charm. And just absolutely, the Gramps cardigan is the best sweater to knit. It is absolutely fabulous. It looks, when you get done, it looks so well made. My kids were amazed that I had made these sweaters when they saw them. They said, "Oh my gosh," you know. So just the way that they've written the pattern, if you follow the directions, it's going to work out just fine for you. So that's all I have to say about that. And I hope to do some of the adult ones. But in the meantime, I've wanted to do a GG sweater for quite a while. And that's Knitty McPurley. Yeah, I think that's it. It's on Ravelry. It's the GG cardigan. G-I-G-I. And there's a little GG too, if you have a little one that you want to do it for. Anyway, so I cast it on. I got some beautiful buttons made for me. I think I showed them on a previous episode. And the person did the my Sundays from my logo, and then she did some pink buttons, and she did some turquoise buttons that go with the ice cream and all of that. And so I decided that I want those buttons to really show. So I'm doing my sweater in just the natural color, and I figure it'll be a great, sweater. It's a short sleeve sweater, so I won't be so warm. And if it's a nice cream color, it'll go with everything. So that's what I'm working on now. So I don't know. There's probably a lot of other things that I have that I don't even realize I have to talk about. But I really just wanted to touch base. And I know one thing. Let me go back, because one of the things that I decided while I was ill, I have been getting a lot of people that have been signing up and subscribing to my YouTube channel, which I love that. It's just that I've gotten a lot of requests for people. I've tried to put in my, this is really awkward to say, and I hope those of you that know me, you know how I am. I look at it, I've done a lot of sharing of my techniques because nobody put those techniques out there. People are really tight-lipped about how they did this and how they did that, and I've had to do, 2 years I've been searching the internet and trying to find, a little bit of message here or a little bit of information there. And I've had to put the things together, try different things. I've had failures, whatever. Speckles, for example, on how people do their speckles. And all the different, like, I can't tell you how many little implements I have bought to speckle with, because I just think, okay, well, maybe that'll work. And then I've tried it, and you know what I mean. But I've found that some of the newer people are really kind of brazen about what information they're asking. And so I kind of decided that, you know, I will share what I feel I can share. And there's a lot of information in those previous episodes. I think I had, 4 or 5 of them that I talked about my yarn experiments and that kind of thing. And I would just say, if you're interested in dyeing yarn and things, go look at those. And maybe they should be a point where you can then, from there, go and do your own exploration of finding other things. And I will give you a heads up. A lot of information I have been able to find at Dharma Trading. I have been using Dharma's dyes in addition to the jacquard that I already have. But Dharma's dyes are a lot more reasonable. And so, you know, you're getting a 2-ounce container of their dye for the cost of a 1/2 ounce from jacquard. So that's something there. And Dharma has a lot of tutorials. They have a lot of people who have submitted information. It takes some time. And that's the way I kind of feel about this, and I hope I'm coming across. I want to be as kind as possible, but I notice there's a lot more dyers out there, and I think that's great. But some of the stuff I'm seeing is not, well, it isn't what I would buy, and I'm trying to be nice. I just think there's a lot of people that think that you can just throw things together and, you know, that's an art yarn. And I'm trying. I don't know. I feel like I'm saying the wrong things and putting my foot in my mouth. But I grew up with my dad, and I have a pretty good eye for colors because I learned from the master. And if I'm unsure of colors, then I go to a color wheel, or I go to the booklet that I've showed you on this podcast that I actually carry in my shop all the time, is Gail Callahan, who is the kangaroo dyer. I will go to her, you know, the little pamphlet that I have, and I will look at colors and see if I'm on the right, what I'm thinking is on the right track. But it isn't just throwing random dyes into a pot. And when people ask you, like, exactly how much of a chemical do you put in and things, it's kind of, I don't know, I guess I get a little offended. So, because I've spent a long time. Like, my background from before, way back when my dad had his shop, is, you know, I used to paint needlepoint canvases and things like that. So, I mean, I've got a lot of experience behind me. But it took me a long time. It took me a long time to figure out that I needed to invest in these steamers. And, you know, there's just so much. And I'm willing to share a significant amount, I think, for people to use that information as a jumping off point, is the way I look at it. Is I'm giving you information that is not out there from most people, and I'm giving you the heads up. You don't have to go and search as much as I did, but I think that people have to understand that this is my livelihood too. So anyway, well, that was really awkward, and I wish I had something really great to tell you right now. But I don't know that I have anything else. Oh yeah, here's something. Okay, so, and when I show my yarns, that's another thing that people can kind of get, you know, some ideas from. So here's 2 more skeins that I forgot that I was going to show you. So this is, I did a kind of a series of these that are just like a, you know, a pop of a main color here, and then I did some speckling. Some of it was more of a dripping kind of a thing, and then, you know, did some pop of color on the other end. And these I am referring to as like English country garden. I mean, that's kind of what they say to me. So I've done several of these. This particular one is the merino cashmere nylon. This one's going to the show in California, and I suppose I'm not sending them out for a couple of days. So if one of you out there is like really, really taken with this and you have to have it, we can make that happen. They are going to be $30. So, just telling you, if you're interested, that's fine. This one goes up. It's the next thing. Jean told me that I should probably try and have some merino cashmere nylon, and then the other thing is merino cashmere silk. So this lovely is merino cashmere silk. And the speckles are kind of a little bit muted in there, but they're there. And let's see, here's some more. These I just kind of played with and had fun. And this is a luscious skein. So this one, I don't know how much this one's going to be. I'm planning to take these to California because I only got 10 skeins of the merino cashmere silk. So anyway, I'm hoping that Stephen B. or somebody's going to come over and just say, oh, I got to have it. So anyway, that's a couple of good things. I hate to end on a sour note. So I love you guys. I really do. And I really felt uncomfortable saying that. But on the other hand, I kind of feel like I have to. So if there's something that you are really stumped on and you've looked at a lot of places or whatever, and you're trying to dye some yarn for yourself, you can shoot me a line and ask me a question. And, you know, if I feel I can answer it, I'll answer it. And if I don't, then please don't hold it against me. How's that? So anyway, well, hopefully I will be able to do another podcast before I leave for California. We fly out on the 21st. I am looking forward to meeting new people. I mean, there's a lot of vendors that are going to be at this show that I have not even heard of. And one of them that I have heard of, Hula Hut Yarns, is going to be there. So that one, I'm excited to meet them and that kind of thing. But it's just like, wow. So I'm hoping that my yarn is received well, because that's why I'm doing this. And I think it will be. I think I'm a good judge of yarn, and because I grew up in this element, so I think I'm a good judge, and I won't put out anything for sale that I don't think is good quality. So that's the way I kind of feel about it, and everybody's oohing and eyeing about the stuff that I've done so far. So I think I'm pretty safe. So enough of this chatter, and I'm going to let you go, and hopefully I will see you soon. All right? Thanks. Bye.